right, how's it going? Back at it. So this is going to be the summary for How to Influence People, Make a Difference in the World by John C. Maxwell and Jim Dornan. So just real fast, there's 10 chapters in here, and I'll just go over the quick author bio. I only did Maxwell, but yeah, he's pretty well known. I mean, you guys know him well. And so yeah, John Calvin Maxwell. Some interesting facts. He's the founder of Enjoy, Maximum Impact, the John Maxwell Team, and ISS and Equip. Equip being that really big one. That it's in more than 80 countries and it's just training leaders to be effective Christians. It's pretty wild. But he's written 22 books so far. He's also 72. Dang. So he writes more leadership and personal development type of books. He's writing to, the everyday person who wants to develop themselves and wants to, better themselves in leadership and personal development like that. He's won the Medal of Peace from the Guatemalan government last year in October. So that's kind of interesting. And he's been a senior pastor for 14 years. So he left the church to become a full-time writer and speaker. He lived at Skyline Church in 1955 and came back in 2004 to be a teaching pastor at Christian Fellowship in Palm Beach, Florida. And then, he went to be a guest speaker, a guest pastor at some pretty big, renowned churches and whatnot. And then, he's pretty much just a leadership expert, an author, and a writer, and that type of thing. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. So just kind of prefacing this whole thing, there's a lot of tips in here. Not many template ideas, but a lot of tips for templates. So I'll try to mention them when they come up, but I won't get too in depth because he gives a lot of just points, step-by-step stuff. And I'll just give you kind of the basics of each chapter. So the introduction, kicking it off, the purpose obviously was to set up the rest of the book. He gave a broad overview of why influence is important and how everyone has the ability to gain influence and increase their influence with others. It's kind of simple with that. He said there's 5 levels of leadership, and he's kind of alluding to his other books. The position, permission, production, people development, and the pinnacle. I'm sure you guys have heard of those before. Then there's 4 levels of influence. Modeling, which are people are first influenced by what they see, and moves on to motivation, communicating with others on an emotional level. And then mentoring, which is pouring into other people's lives and helping them reach their potential and their goals. And then multiplying, which is helping others become a positive influence in their lives and then influencing other people's lives. So the whole book kind of follows that framework of the modeling, motivation, mentoring, and multiplying. So getting into it, he moves into the first chapter, which is integrity. A person of influence has integrity with people. And integrity is kind of like that core character trait, that thing that everybody needs to have. You have to have integrity to be this influential leader, because if you lose your integrity, then you've lost it and you're done. So it's talking about the importance of integrity and why you've got to gain it and hold it in order to build your influence. So he just lists off a few qualities of integrity. I'll just run through briefly what they are. So model consistency of character, employ honest communications, value transparency, exemplify humility, demonstrate your support of others, fulfill your promises, embrace an attitude of service, and encourage two-way participation with the people that you influence. So I thought those are pretty cool. Again, there's a lot of just like not necessarily nice to know stuff, but just template stuff or template idea. Tips for templates type of stuff. So that's what this is. And if you read any Maxwell's books, he just lists, okay, this is step 1 tips, these are all, the points, that type of thing. So he gave off a whole bunch of integrity questions to ask yourself, and one that really stuck out for me was: Do I role play based on the people that I'm with? And what that really is if I'm with this friend group or if I'm with this friend group, am I being a different person? Am I start talking like this when I'm with some people, and then like, yo, what's up, dog, and all that? You're changing yourself pretty much. So do I role play when I'm with other type of people? That's one of those integrity questions that he puts out for you to ask yourself. Um, and then he had a purpose question. It said, if the whole world followed me, would it be a better world? If the whole world followed me, would it be a better world? But that was super, just kind of revealing to yourself, like, wow, I really need to check my purpose and like, what I've been doing so far. Um, because hey, if the whole world followed me, would it be better or would it be worse? He threw some Bible verses in there. It's Matthew 7:24-27, which is, integrity is the foundation we build all of other qualities on. You can look that verse up. I won't read the entire thing, but it's just one of those. Moving on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 was titled A Person of Influence Nurtures Other People. So this chapter was about nurturing and how it can greatly increase our influence. And there's many steps. So the steps of nurturing people are, love, respect, sense of security, recognition, and encouragement. Giving these things to other people is a nurturing, aspect. There's a nurturing mentality. So people are influenced the most by those who make them feel the best about themselves. Yeah, that's really big. Are we adding to people or are we not? Are we building other people up or are we, just tearing them down / just leaving them as they are? People gravitate towards others who build them up, who make them feel happy, who make them feel great about themselves, who make them feel special. So naturally, they're going to like a person who nurtures them because a person who nurtures them, again, gives them love, respect, sense of security, recognition, and encouragement. And it's kind of a two-way road. So you give them that, and then they're going to get, a positive self-worth. They're going to get senses of belonging, perspective, feelings of significance, and hope. It's kind of great. It's just adding value, adding value, adding value. So here comes the first tip is remember people's names and take time to show them you care. I know we're already doing this, but I just thought to kind of list it out again. Just remembering names and why it is really important. Again, I only have like one template idea, so I'll save that for the end. But moving on to the next chapter. The next chapter is person of influence has faith in people. So having faith in people and the reasons to have faith in people. If you don't have faith in people, in others, they may not succeed. And if they do not already have faith in themselves, where are they going to get that faith? So it's kind of up to us to give people that faith and believe in them because they may not succeed. So just listing off, you gave a few facts about faith. Most people don't have faith in themselves. Most people, think little of themselves or don't think, great about themselves. They don't have a big self-worth. So most people don't have faith in themselves. Most people don't have someone who has faith in them. So, it's just as simple, most people don't have someone who has faith in them. Most people can tell when someone has faith in them. So they can really see your intentions of, do you believe in me or do you not? And that type of thing. And then most people will do anything to live up to the faith in them. So, and he has a nice quote in here by John H. Spalding. Those who believe in our ability do more than stimulate us. They create for us an atmosphere in which it can become easier to succeed. That's pretty powerful right there. So by us adding faith to people and us having faith in others, it kind of just gives them that room, that space to succeed. You're setting that expectation like, yo, man, I have faith in you that you're going to crush this, that you're going to do whatever, X, Y, and Z. And then you're just pushing all that self doubt away. So, all in front of them is self doubt. And by your faith, it's really just pushing it all away, just kind of clearing the path. And then boom, they just go. They go just by having faith in them. And then he gave an acronym. It's called Believer, which is pretty cool. So how to become a believer in people. Excuse me, it was believe. So how to become a believer, acronym believe in them before they succeed. Pretty self-explanatory. Emphasize their strengths. And, we kind of do this a little bit, or kind of not, but just really vocalizing, hey, I see the strength in you. This is, what strength I see. And just kind of, voicing that. List their past successes. Instill confidence when they fail. This is a big one. Experience some wins together. And visualize their future success. Expect a new level of living, which is kind of like expanding their horizon. So, and again, if you want to see that, again, just come back and look at my notes for faith in people, and then you can see that. Here's one. This study blew me away. They experimented with rats. And what they did, it was about visualizing their future success. That was kind of the purpose of it. So they put rats in a jar of water. They put a rat in a jar of water, and they made it completely dark. And they're like, okay, we want to see how long the rat swims. And what they found was the rat kind of gave up in around 3 minutes on average and drowned and died. But they did the same thing. They put a rat in a jar of water in a dark room, and then they let a small amount of light show. And the rat swam for over 36 hours. Just because he saw that light, meaning hope. Because the rat saw the light, it continued to have hope. It gives me chills. It's so crazy, in this darkness and people not believing in themselves and people not having faith in themselves, they just give up. They swim for 3 minutes. But, you have somebody who comes and shines a little light on, because most people don't have someone like that. But leaders and influencers come and shine a little light on people. And then they can swim for over 36 hours as opposed to 3 minutes. That's insane. So that is that. The next chapter is chapter 4, Person of Influence listens to people. So there's many benefits that come to listening to people. And unfortunately, it's a seldom practiced skill. But as leaders and influencers, we must prioritize this. So the skill of listening is a key element. The benefits of listening is, and I'm sure, this is going to be in all of our books. I already see it in my other one, but benefits of listening is it shows people respect. It builds relationships, increases knowledge, builds loyalty, and is a great way to help others and yourself. So there's a whole bunch of barriers to listening. You can read them. I'm not going to go over them right now. But here's 9 quick ways to develop listening. Look at the speaker. Don't interrupt. Focus on understanding instead of remembering. They did a quick study, and they found out that 50% of information that people hear, they forget about it. They forget 50% of the information after they walked away from the conversation. And the following day, that number reduces down to 25%. So don't try to remember, try to understand when people are talking to you. Determine the need at the moment. So really, being in depth and involved in the conversation. Check your emotions, suspend your judgment, sum up at major intervals. Things like, stay away from words like, oh, that's interesting and stuff like that. So ask questions for clarity and always make listening a priority. So this is kind of getting at, saying things like, so what you're telling me is, or so if I understand this correctly, just kind of summarizing like that. So I think those are some big pointers right there.